Well, Lions fans, I know you heard about it by now. Wide receiver Jameson Williams and three other players suspended for gambling. Let's talk about it. Well, I was just as shocked as most of you when the news flash came across that said that Jameson Williams was suspended for 6 games. Actually, it was my son who couldn't be here right now, so I'm rolling solo, who sent me the message first. And when I looked into it, I saw what was going on. According to this story, it seems that he is suspended because he was illegal gambling on an app in the facility. So we know that pretty much all sports franchises, all sports networks have a no gambling policy, and it appears that he broke that policy by gambling on the site. Now, it's not illegal for people to gamble, but it is illegal for you to gamble, I suppose, in the facilities. So I'm looking at some of this article right here on ESPN. It says four Lions players, including 2022 first round pick Jameson Williams, were among 5 players league wide to be suspended for violating the NFL's gambling policy after an investigation by the league. So it says league wide. So it sounds like there are other players involved in this and not just our players. We see that Quintez Cephas and CJ Moore were suspended, and I did read that the Lions released them because they were suspended for a year now. I'm not sure if this is their second offense. I was kind of wondering why were they suspended for a whole year, but Stanley Berryhill and Jameson Williams were suspended for 6 games. Kind of scanning through here to see if it says anything else. I know Brad Holmes said something about it earlier about having to sit down with Jameson Williams and Barry Hill to talk to them about this, the seriousness of this. But Lions fans, let's talk about what does this mean for the season. Now, we all have been excited. Like you, I'm a diehard Lions fan, and all I've been thinking about is can't wait for the season, can't wait for the draft in 6 days, can't wait for the season to come to get started because our boys are going to do their thing. You can feel it; it's in the air, right? And then you get something like this, and it definitely brings a blow to how you feel because Jameson Williams is not a minor piece, even though I like CJ Moore, even though Quintez Cephas had flashes of being a decent, receiver, a decent fourth, fifth option. Jameson Williams was going to be really part of the centerpiece of this offense. Let's just call it how it is. And for him to miss the first 6 games of the season I think, is going to be huge. Now, I'm not saying that the Lions fall apart, but I'm saying it's going to be huge because you know good and well that Dan Campbell and the rest of the team, Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, they said that they had a bigger role for Williamson this year, and now we have to go 6 games without him. What I would like to know is what do you all think that we will and we should do from here? Now, I was on Twitter earlier. Let me see if I can find some of those tweets. And there were some Lions fans out here who were saying that it's time to, we're gonna end up having to use one of those picks on a wide receiver. But the Lions were probably already going to take a wide receiver anyway. Probably, definitely, they weren't planning on it in the first round, but quite possibly in the second round. So that kind of goes without saying. But what do you think? Do you think that the Lions will actually go for a receiver in the first round? Do you think that with that 18th pick that they could be looking at somebody like the kid from TCU? I'm sorry, his name slips my mind now, or maybe a speedy receiver like Zay Flowers, the 18th pick, instead of waiting until the second round to take another receiver, because we will need someone to get us through. Now we know that Amon-Ra St. Brown is hard as a rock, but who's going to now be that number 2 receiver? Part of me thinks that we'll be okay. I think that Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds. I think a combination of those guys can help fill in. I'm not saying that they replace Jameson Williams. I'm not saying that Jameson Williams not being here is not a big blow, but I am saying that I think that those guys can fill in. And like I said, the Lions were going to take another receiver anyway. Well, I guess that we just don't want to beat a dead horse with this. I just want to get your reactions on it. What did you think? What do you think about the 6 game suspension? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? And do you think it's going to hurt the team in those first 6 games? Do you think we're going to fold without him in there? By fold, I don't mean go 1-5, but I mean, do you think that it's going to, slow our offense down, stagnate it a little bit? Or do you think that we will be just fine and hopefully Jameson Williams learns a lesson? Because to be honest, it's gambling. I'm not saying that it's not serious, but they're saying that it's because he gambled on college games in the Lions facility. Not that he did anything illegal. So with that said, I mean, do you think that the young man is going to learn from this, or from now on he will know to do better? Anyway, whatever your thoughts are, give them to me. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can keep talking Lions football. Pretty much, Lions fans. That's all I got on that one. We out.